try to get out the situation of homelessness, right? But the state don't want to help you. But if I was a drug addict on fentanyl or other drugs or whatever the case may be, they'd help me then. But because I make too much money, because they go off gross and they go off future gross, I don't get shit. I just got denied for the second time in 6 months trying to get help so I can get off the streets and off the system, but I'm in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Hey, if you're not gonna help, what do we have these programs for? Because my tax dollars, your tax dollars, they all go to the same thing and helping others, right? But if I can't get help, why the fuck do I want to pay into it? This shit is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Then again, politics, right? It's a sore subject for everybody. And it shouldn't be. Because politics boils down to your everyday life. You know what I mean? We're sitting here trying to get better and benefit ourselves and do better, right? Ask for help. No, it's fuck you, because they just don't care. You know what I'm saying? So why don't you raise the income requirement so it's more than, $3,000 a month? You know how hard it is to live on $3,000 a month? I was making $3,200 a month, and I lived in a car, and I was still homeless, and I still couldn't get help. But if I start fucking smoking fentanyl or putting that shit in my arm, they'll help me then. It's hella crazy. I don't understand how you can sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, because you're homeless and you've paid into it, you can't get help, right? Hey, look, it's hella funny that you pay taxes on your income when you work, right? Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, this, that, the other, right? But when you lose your job and you get unemployment, they tax you again. So they tax your money once, and then they tax it again when you go to draw it, because that's what they say, tax revenue, right? Tax revenue, right? But where does it go if it doesn't come back to you? You know what I'm saying? I feel like people is just wasteful. You know what I'm saying? These states is wasteful. Hey, that's why Mr. Trump, you know what I'm saying, he was talking about, cutting funding for this, cutting funding for that. You know what I'm saying? If they're not going to give it to you to help you, they shouldn't get it to fucking waste. You know what I'm saying? They done gave me the fraud number and some more shit, and I'm just like, damn, wash your hair. You know what? If you heard what I said in the beginning of this broadcast, you wouldn't say that shit, but you cool, boss. You know what I'm saying? My hair is all natural, thank you very much, while you sitting there talking shit. But if you heard what I said, we're sitting here talking about homelessness because that's what somebody's going through, but you didn't know that. So how about you keep your fucking comments to yourself? You know what I mean? That's crazy. Good looks from Indonesia, right? You know what I'm saying? Good looks from England. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not hating on nobody. I'm just simply saying, hey, you need some help in this motherfucker. They don't want to help you because your income's too high, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I got the police right here looking at me and shit, right? He want to sit here and you know what I'm saying, go pick up a brand new gun I bought. 3 days before I do that, I get assaulted, you know what I'm saying, on a transit bus. And what happened? Did they help me? Did they arrest the person that assaulted me? Hell no. But they wanted to hem me up, though. They wanted to give me a transit ban because it happened on a transit bus. But did I do anything wrong? No, I literally told the driver to, hey, let me go. You know what I'm saying? Pick on somebody else. I'm not picking on nobody. I'm sitting here talking about myself. You know what I'm saying? In the situation that I'm in. I was making, like I said, $3,200 a month and still homeless. You know what I'm saying? I'm not picking on nobody. I'm sitting here telling it like it is, because I'm going to open my mouth and say something, because a closed mouth don't get fed. That's what this is about. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Nobody wants to talk about these situations, but then they want to bitch and complain that shit doesn't happen, right? In the United States of America, it's a majority wins. No, you're not the person that was being rude to you. No, you're right. I'm not the person that was being rude to me. And you're right, go pick on somebody else. But no, let's not pick on anybody and have a conversation about it, because if we don't talk about it, shit's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just trying to put it out there, because what do they say? One person can start a movement, right? That's what they say. They also say a closed mouth don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? They also say if you don't vote, you don't have a say. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching the police go by now. People in the back of the cars and all of this. And I'm just like, damn, I appreciate that I'm looking great. I don't feel great. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping outside and this and that, trying to struggle to get some money to get about this situation. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. All I want to do is go home and be with my family and the kids and this and that. But nah, that ain't gonna happen, because I don't get that luxury no more. And I'm not even mad. I'm just trying to bring awareness, because no, I don't watch the police. I'm just trying to bring awareness to this because, hey, this is what goes down. But now I've done had 2 officers pass me in the last 2 minutes while I'm standing here at this corner. That's why I said looking at the police. You know what I mean? And I'm not even mad. But they don't do shit. You know what I'm saying? But because I'm a gun owner, you know what I mean? They want to get mad at me then. But even though I have permits and this and that, and guns are legal and this and that, if they stop me and ask me about it, all I can do is provide my documents. You're right, I can get a job if somebody wants to give me that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? How do you get a driver's license if you never had a car? How do you get a driver's license if you've never been behind the wheel of a car? You know what I mean? How do you get a job if you've never had a job and somebody doesn't take a chance on you? If you talk less, it's not about talking. It's about if you don't have something, somebody has to take a chance on you. And that's my whole thing. I'm trying to bring awareness to these issues, because what do the police do in my city? What do? They see 10 people in tents, homeless. You know what they do? They run them out. You know what my city does? They put up hostile architecture, rocks and shit under bridges where people want to try and camp out to stay warm, because it rains where I live 7 months of the year. You know what I'm saying? What would you do if you lived in a place that rains 7 months of the year, but you don't have the ability to leave? What would you do? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to rant or none of that. I'm just trying to bring light to the situation, because that's what it is. You got to put in the effort. Get a job. I got a job. I got a temporary job working for a stadium, right? And I'm trying to get some help to get out of the situation. And you know what they say? You make too much damn money. But I don't even make $3,500 a month. How is that too much money? Dude is finding any and all excuses. It's not about excuses, boss. It's not about excuses at all. It's about bringing light to the situation, because people are blind and they don't speak up. That's what it's about. But you can say that all that you want, and I'm not mad at you, because you're entitled to your opinion. You don't live my circumstances, and that is okay. I don't fault you for none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just simply saying, look at the bigger picture. You sit here and do more, right? Go get a job. I can apply for all the jobs I want. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get one. In the last 2 weeks, I've applied for 150 jobs. Did I get one? No. Did I find one in a temp agency to try and make some money? You're right, I did. And you're right, I do have money. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice to have some more money. It would be nice to have housing, as I'm a disabled American and, you know what I'm saying, I'm homeless, but I'm not out here begging for nothing. I'm a man. I got to get off my ass and do it myself, because that's what we have to do as men, right? But, hey, what happened to being kind and compassionate and being there from somebody or being there for somebody that was down on their luck. That's all I'm saying. I have cerebral palsy, to answer your question. That's what my disability is. But then again, I also have post-traumatic stress disorder. I have anxiety. I have depression and a whole lot more. But the disability I was talking about is cerebral palsy. You know what I'm saying? This right here. You know what I mean? So what that means is part of my brain wasn't developed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just trying to bring awareness to shit and sit here and say, not everybody lives your life. Not everybody understands what you're going through. But have some kindness and compassion, right? So what I did was walked in here to try and get some help, because like I said, I'm homeless, right? But they said, because we work in advance, you don't get our help because you make too much money. But because I work for a temp agency, it's not guaranteed. With dude flick of the wrist, you're right, but I didn't flick my wrist, boss. I just showed it like it was. But I could do that, and the stanky leg and all that shit too, but you know what I'm saying? There's a time and a place for that, boss. I'm just sitting here saying, be more kind, be more compassionate, be more understanding, and open up, you know what I'm saying? Talk with the representatives, right? Because that's what they said to me, right? Call the lawmakers and get them to change the law. But the only way that's gonna happen is a fucking majority. Why? Because majority wins. And that is the only thing that matters in this country, right? Hey, I live in Washington State, right? I'm not allowed to go buy 17-round magazines for the gun that I bought, even though they came from the factory that way, because Governor Douchebag decided to sign into a law that the Washington State voters voted on to restrict magazine capacity. Hey, if I'm restricted to it, the police should be restricted to it. But no, that law don't apply to them because they're law enforcement, so they get a pass. You know what I'm saying? Why they get a pass and nobody else does? What makes you different than me? You know what I'm saying? We all bleed red. We all human beings. We all got a brain. We all got a heart. You cool when you speak calmly and leave time for breath and thinking. You even sound smart. I'm a lot smart. I'm not a dumb motherfucker out here. I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant. I'm not looking at motherfuckers sideways. I'm very college educated. I have an associate's degree in business management and administration. But can I get that $80,000 job to pay off my degree? No, I can't. Why? Because nobody wants to take a fucking chance. And that's cool. I'm gonna make my own chance. You know what I'm saying? I could pick up the thing and, you know what I'm saying, go put it in somebody's face. I could do that. I just seen somebody that I knew that had driven around the corner from me. You know what I'm saying? I could do that, but that would be wrong. I don't look sideways at anybody, but I do have a lazy eye, to answer your question. You know what I'm saying? That's hella crazy. In 2025, there is a lot of jobs for disabled people, especially in Washington. Clean yourself up, stop cussing, and use your skills to get a job. Get back on your feet. Like I said, I was making $3,200 a month before this happened to me. And the only reason this happened to me is because I lost what I had. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. I'm gonna bounce back whether I get help or not, because that's what men do. We bounce back. Hey, as a matter of fact, show me where these disabled people's jobs are at, because I see disabled people all the time. Amputees, drug addicts, clean people out here like me that don't have drugs. You know what I'm saying? That don't do anything stupid. I'm a law-abiding citizen, you know what I'm saying? If I wasn't, I wouldn't be armed. I wouldn't have the licenses that I have. I have licenses to get jobs. I have computer skills. I know how to use a computer. I can do all of that. Like I said, I'm college educated, and half of my schoolwork that I did was based on Microsoft Word and other technologies. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm saying, because I've attempted it. I've put forth the effort. You know what I'm saying? I've had many jobs. You know what I'm saying? And I could go back to the job that I know, which is, you know, doing shit illegally. But if I do that, then I lose all of my professional licenses. So I'm not about to do that, because like I said, I spent $150 on one professional license, right? And I made $13,000 with that one license in 3 months. Just because I put forth the effort. I mean, so I'm not even mad. I mean, it's just how y'all want to play it. But like I said, I'm going to bounce back. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm about to hop on this bus and get to where I needs to get to. But like I said, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. More to come. More to come. Thank y'all. Have a good rest of y'all day. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do. We is gonna have a good rest of the day. How's your day going?
Good. How about you?
So far, so good. I went $5, but it is what it is. Yeah, it'd be nice if they didn't move as I'm trying to walk down the street and get on the bus, but it is what it is. You know, he got a schedule to keep. I get it. But yeah, it is what it is.